Welcome back. Christians are gathering in Washington, D.C. ahead of the third annual March for the Martyrs. As religious persecution intensifies around the world, the event aims to unite Christians calling for global religious freedom. The March for the Martyrs event comes as 1 in 7 Christians around the world face high levels of persecution, according to the Open Doors World Watch List. Marchers who gather on the National Mall this Saturday will help raise awareness for those 360 million suffering for their faith. Here with us now is Andrew Brunson, Special Advisor for Religious Freedom at the Family Research Council and a keynote speaker at this weekend's March for the Martyrs. Pastor Brunson, you've experienced persecution for your faith firsthand and spent 2 years as a political prisoner in Turkey. You've said it was an honor to suffer for Jesus Christ. Can you talk a little bit about your experience?
Yes, I didn't expect to end up in a Turkish prison, but I did, and I did experience breaking. It's very difficult to undergo persecution sometimes, and I broke, and then God rebuilt me during my time in prison. And we often, I think of persecution as something in the past or in just other places, and it's true that there's persecution all over the world right now, and that's one of the reasons I'm involved in this event, is because I want to highlight believers who are paying a price for their faith. But also, I think persecution is going to come to the United States. And so those who are suffering for their faith around the world right now are going to be a very good example for us and also an encouragement as we come under pressure in the United States.
How did your experience with suffering shape your understanding of what other persecuted Christians are going through?
Well, I think that I often meet people who have maybe an unwarranted confidence that persecution is always good and that good results will come from it, is what I mean. And the truth is that persecution brings you to a crisis point, and it can draw people toward God, but it can also push people away from God. And so I think persecution is actually very dangerous. And some people become stronger believers. I ended up coming out stronger than when I went in, with a deeper love for God. But I also went through a real period of doubting and questioning. And so what I try to tell people here in the States is, since I believe that we're coming into a time of pressure here, not that we will be like North Korea or Iran or China, but I think there will be significant social and financial pressure on faithful followers of Jesus Christ. And I want to warn people it can be more difficult than you think, and not everyone makes it through.
Now, you said you feel like this kind of persecution could be coming to the U.S. Does that mean you feel like persecution against believers is intensifying?
It is intensifying, and there's just been a real shift in our country. And I just look at the issue of religious freedom. I think many institutions in our society here in the United States no longer place a high value on religious freedom. It's becoming politicized. And in the past, in the 90s, there was, I think, broad bipartisan recognition that religious freedom is a basic human right. And the Religious Freedom Restoration Act was passed almost unanimously by Congress. But it wouldn't pass now, and it's even hard to get it passed at a state level. So I think that the progressive left is beginning to see religious freedom not so much as a human right, but as an issue of the political right. I think they would see it as the political right using religious freedom as a cover for bigots. And obviously that's not the case, but it's coming to be seen that way. And this is going to have very negative consequences in our country, because many people who are in power across our institutions in this country, throughout our culture, not only have not had a personal experience of faith, but they're surrounded by people who haven't. And so They not only disagree with people of faith, but they also don't understand them anymore.
Well, Pastor Brunson, we really appreciate you coming on.